Hey guys, my name is Amy. I am 33 years old, and I felt it was time that I shared with you about my experience having a myomectomy. Um, Before I move along, if I look down, it's because I have notes from what happened on my journey that I want to share with you. I will put a disclaimer out. There are some not so fun things that happened to me with my experience, but I feel it's important just to share so that hopefully what happened to me doesn't happen to somebody else. So from the get-go, well, it was 2017, I had severe pain in my stomach, and this pain was so bad that I ended up going to the emergency room, and they did a MRI with full contrast, which is never fun. It gives you that sensation that you have to pee, and it's so hot and it's awful, but it gives you answers. So I was up for anything because I was feeling this uncomfortable, awful pain. Um, and when the doctor got the results back, they came to me and they said um, there was a few things wrong. I had a hernia um, in my belly button, which I still have. They said it was too little to worry about, so that wasn't the issue. I had gastritis, which is the inflammation of the stomach lining, and I also had a fibroid. A fibroid, oh, so hard to say. A fibroid is a most of the time, 90, I think it's like 99% of the time. Don't quote me on that, but most of the time, a fibroid is a benign tumor, non-cancerous, but still scary to think that you have something growing inside of your body. The doctor at that point told me you need to see an OBGYN, you need to possibly have surgery. It is the size of a softball, and a softball. To think that there was something foreign in my body, and I would call it later on in between October and March when I had the surgery, and I was in this just pain, 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 pain. Um, I would call it my little alien because I was just trying to deal with it, oh, whatever, it's just my luck. I got this weird thing growing in me, and I'll just call it my alien because it just would make me do weird things. But in all honesty, it was serious because it was pushing um, against my stomach lining. It was the way they explained it to me was it was a pedunculated fibroid. There's several different kinds. Some are like I think in your uterus, some are outside of it. But this one, a pedunculated fibroid, is on a stem. It is on a stem, and then it picture like a tree branch with like a grapefruit hanging out. So it's just chilling in there. Little background on me. I'm 33. I was married, and so, but I never had children, and I to this day question whether I could have children or not. And the doctor said this could very well be the reason you haven't been able to conceive or have a baby. So a part of me was so relieved. So I thought, okay. So I went and I found an OBGYN. I was in a rush. This is where I'm telling you, do not rush the options. Do your research on your doctor. Do your research on the hospitals. Just do your research because I didn't. I rushed. I picked a doctor who I thought, she seems very friendly. She seems nice. She seems to know what she's doing. We're good. She's going to take it out. It's going to be gone. I'm going to heal. We're good. So I went in, had ultrasounds done of it, everything. They do the transvaginal, whatever it's called, ultrasound. That's uncomfortable. It's not fun. So that they can get a better look at it. And then I waited for my surgery date, which was March 9th of 2018. I'm coming up on my 1 year. Now my story isn't, and it isn't to scare you. It isn't to make you not want to get this surgery, because I've seen positive reviews on people who have had myomectomies, and it wasn't, a terror like mine. But I want to share what happened with me, so maybe it doesn't happen to somebody else. To look for signs and just to know what to look out for. So basically, the symptoms I was having because of the fibroid were crazy periods. I mean, out of this world crazy periods. The bleeding, the cramps, the cycle dates. I mean, I would go on a 10-day cycle to a 22-day cycle to a 29-day cycle. I mean, it was just insane. Like, I was tracking it, like, what is happening with my body? Like, this is crazy. The cramps were so bad that I just couldn't even think. At that point, they put me on pain medication, which isn't the best, because pain medication also constipates you. So there's a whole nother side of funness with that. But until surgery, that was what kept me going. And they said once this fibroid is removed, things will start going back to normal. You'll have normal periods. There's a possibility you could get pregnant, like yada, yada, yada. All this stuff that sounded like this was a great idea. I was ready. Let's do this. Let's get on the OR table. I'm ready to go. Put me under. I'm totally brave, which I really wasn't. But let's go ahead and do this. So March 9th, I arrived at the hospital. Total protocol. Can't eat 12 hours before. Don't drink anything. Yada, yada. Blah, blah, blah. Basic, surgery information. Your doctors will tell you about it. It's pretty simple. It's simple stuff. I waited in the waiting area pre-op for about 2 hours because my doctor was delivering a baby. That's a beautiful thing. Great. Come take my fibroid out now, please, as I sit here and I start to panic. So she gets there, and I'm wheeled into the OR, and I'm on stuff already. So I'm just like thinking, whew, Grey's Anatomy, I got this. It's my favorite show. Maybe there'll be a hot doctor. See you later, boyfriend. Like I was just like gone. Into the OR I go. They put the mask on me. That's all I remember. And I was out. So I wake up. Fibroid's gone. I had a robotic myomectomy. So there's two different kinds you can have. You can have an open myomectomy. You can have a robotic myomectomy. I chose robotic. Less scarring, less chance of bleeding. And I just decided that that was the best option for me. So I wake up in recovery. And this nurse was trying to feed me and do the procedures they do after surgery. She's trying to feed me this like disgusting brownie, and I was like not having it because I actually the year before I had lost 100 pounds. So I lost 100 pounds, and I wreaked a little havoc on my body from that. My body's still getting used to that weight loss change, and I'm just like, do not give me that brownie. I'm not eating it. I'm healthy. I'm also medicated at this point. Keep the brownie away from me. Here's some ginger ale. She gives me ginger ale. I drink it. Okay, cool. Drinking the ginger ale. Drinking the ginger ale. I'm still drinking that ginger ale. Loving it. Here is my number one most important thing I can tell you. Before you leave the hospital, if you have a myomectomy, a hysterectomy, anything related to that area, actually, I think overall, any kind of surgery that you are under general anesthesia, whatever you do, do not leave the hospital without urinating. I cannot stress this. enough. I cannot tell you. This is so important. I don't care if the nurse says, like mine did, oh, you'll be okay, and send you on your way. Don't. You make sure you go to the bathroom before you leave. So, that didn't happen with me. I got into my boyfriend's car. He took me home. I called coworkers crying, oh my God, I'm in so much pain. It was painful. I'm not going to lie. I had 5 incisions, 2 on each side of my stomach, 1 inside my belly button. The fibroid the size of a softball came out of my belly button. Totally gross to this day. Makes me nauseated just feeling about, like, just thinking about it. If I touch my belly button, I get nauseated. And I told my boyfriend, honey, I have to pee. And he's like, okay, well, try and go. And I'm like, okay. Well, hours and hours and hours went by, and the pain medication would knock me out, and then I'd wake back up. Still had that urge to go to the bathroom, but nothing was working. Just like, I thought I had to go. It felt like I had to go, but I couldn't go. So the following morning, I looked at Jared, my boyfriend, and I said, you know, we are going back to the emergency room. And he was like, are you serious? Like, is it that serious? I'm like, Jared, I haven't peed in like 12 hours. Like, this is crazy. Like, I need to go now. Like, let's go. Take me. So I went back to the same hospital. Kind of wish I hadn't. Wasn't too happy with the whole situation when I learned that I had urinary retention. And what urinary retention is basically, your brain isn't giving the signal to your bladder to go to the bathroom. And when an ultrasound was done, my bladder was so overfilled, it was to the point of being like, extremely dangerous. So I immediately had to have a Foley catheter. Most women don't have to have Foley catheters. It's usually more of a man thing. But I'm one of the lucky ones that got to experience what that's like. I ended up being on a Foley catheter for 2 weeks, off and on. It wasn't the same one because they would take it out, put it back in, take it out, put it back in. This is the most painful thing I've ever experienced in my life. Some of the doctors didn't know how to do it because they're used to doing it on men. It was just a disaster. So, had the nurse realized that I couldn't urinate, this could have been fixed prior to me leaving on the day of surgery. So, while this is all going on, I get the Foley catheter, my bladder empties, I get to wear a cool little pee bag on my leg, super, super sexy. And that's how I urinated for the next 2 weeks. I literally had to wear a bag and I had to unscrew it and then dump it in the toilet. Okay, well, that's great. So I sat on the couch. I think I watched some apocalypse like series on Netflix or something, like something totally weird that I'd never watched. I think it was called Quarantined. I think I watched Quarantined because I was on pain meds, and I watched Quarantined because I felt quarantined, and it scared me, and I would forget like about the pain. It's so weird. I'm weird. But anyways, the doctor 2 days later was like, you know what? We're gonna go ahead and we're going to take the catheter out. And I was like, you gonna what? Like, how do you know that I'm going to be able to pee correctly? Happened again. So it happened several times. It was a nightmare. It was the most painful thing I've ever experienced in my life. It was scary because at one point I looked at my boyfriend and said, I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to pee again like a normal person. Am I ever going to be able to go to the bathroom? Is my brain ever going to like snap out of it and I'm going to, be able to properly go to the bathroom? Like, I'd never missed peeing so much in my life. Like, I just missed it. I mean, I would pee and not know because it was going into a bag. And so recovery starts. I still have these incisions. The actual myomectomy is painful. As far as I'm concerned, it wasn't pleasant. I mean, I'm sure there's ladies out there that are tougher than me, but I was not. I had had a breast reduction the year prior, and that was a breeze compared to this. And so, yeah. So days go by. About day 5, I start developing a cough. And if you've ever had surgery and you have stitches um, or incision lines and you cough, it is so painful. And so here I am trying to recover, telling my job, oh, I'm fine, I'm getting better. No, I really wasn't. I was a complete mess. About 99% of the time I was crying or I was watching the show. Like, or I was crying and watching the show. It was a disaster. So I started coughing up black stuff. And I called my doctor and I told her, and she said, "Oh no, you're fine. You're fine. It's from the intubation or whatever tube during surgery. It happens to everybody." I'm thinking, what? Well, I've never in my life coughed up black stuff. I just had surgery last year and I was good. This isn't normal. It literally took me demanding that I go to a 5th hospital because I've been to all these hospitals in my area, right? Because I've had to have the Foley catheter removed, taken out, removed, taken out, removed, or put back in, whatever, you know what I mean? So I'm like, it felt like I was living in and out of hospitals. And at one point, I just wanted to be admitted, like, fix me, for God's sake, fix me. Like, nothing seemed like positive from the surgery. So I demanded a MRI. I wanted contrast, I wanted it on my lungs, I wanted to swallow that disgusting drink, and I wanted to make sure that I didn't have pneumonia. Well, I had pneumonia. I contracted it from the hospital. So not only am I recovering from the myomectomy, I have urinary retention, I also have pneumonia. Not too good a look. Not fun. Long story short, I look back and I wonder if I made a good decision. Or maybe I just didn't pick the right doctor, I didn't pick the right hospital, or I just didn't do my research. And this is why I'm saying do your research. For the love of God, do your research. Because I would never want anyone to go through what I went through. And here's the sad part. Since the myomectomy, nothing's changed. All those promises, everything about getting pregnant, I'm not pregnant. I'm not pregnant. There's no baby inside of me. Okay, and I have a good-looking boyfriend. There's no baby there. My periods have not changed. In fact, they've gotten worse, to the point where I've had to be put on muscle relaxers once a month for my periods. I bleed more. My periods last longer. Everything that was supposed to be fixed has now gotten worse. I see a urologist for my bladder because I've had damage to my bladder now because of what happened after the surgery. I want people just to be aware that just because this happened to me doesn't mean it's going to happen to you. I will say that, but please just be aware that if your doctor is like, oh, it's super simple, oh, it's super this, oh, it's super that, there's always, you just have to be conscious of what's going on. You have to know, you have to listen to your body, you have to, I don't care. I literally looked at that doctor in the face and said, do the MRI now. I don't care. Do it now. Like, get answers. Ask questions. Call the doctor a billion times if you have to. I did, because someone wasn't right, and someone's going to be answering. If I'm paying $14,000 for a surgery and things are going haywire, I'm going to want answers. I just want people to do the research and to know, just do your research before you go and you do the surgery. I know people have to have hysterectomies, and luckily I didn't, because I am still technically in in childbearing age at 33. My clock is ticking, and I know that, and that's why I went through with the myomectomy, in case that's the reason why I can't have children. But for me, it was a negative experience. For others, it may be positive. I've seen such happy stories, and when I watch those stories, it gives me a peace of mind, because their lives changed for the better. Mine, I wasn't so lucky, but I want to put it out there that it isn't always a fairy tale. You have to know what to expect, and not that you want to expect the worst, but you just have to prepare yourself. So, leaving this entire experience, sharing with you my journey, telling you what I've been through, basically, like the 5 things I would leave you with are: 1, do your research on your doctor. Know how many surgeries have they done? Have they performed this surgery before? Are they doing it robotic? Are they doing it open? Ask them about recovery time. Ask them questions. Drill them. Drill the doctor. Drill the doctor. Because life isn't like Grey's Anatomy. And I think I said several times, can I please go to Grace Salone? Because those doctors know what they're doing. Not where I was at. Research the hospitals. These hospitals that you're going to. Research them. Read the comments from other people. Patient care. Bedside manner. Do they do proper protocols? Like, research that. Check and make sure, number 3, check and make sure that this is what needs, like, that you need to have this procedure done. Make sure a myomectomy is what is right for you. Make sure, in the long run, if you're not having children and the fibroids can grow back, is a hysterectomy? Yeah. Is that the right thing to do? Number 4, always believe what your body is telling you. Never question yourself. I questioned myself. I didn't go to the hospital right away, and that led to me having permanent bladder issues because of this surgery. Number 5, prepare. It kind of goes along with everything. Just, all I can say is just prepare. And if you have an experience like mine, don't beat yourself up. Life goes on. But just prepare, because this is our lady area. We reproduce from here. This is the uterus and all the good stuff and all the stuff that makes babies, and this is an important area. So you want to make sure that whatever, whoever, wherever, whatever's happening, that it's best for you, that it is the number 1 option, that is safe, that you're in control of this decision, and never, ever let a doctor tell you no if you know something is wrong. I did, and I ended up paying the price for it. So, to those of you who have had great myomectomies, I salute you. To those of you who have myomectomies coming up and you have questions, I hope I didn't scare you, but I just wanted you to know the truth, my experience, my journey, what happened to me, and in hopes that this never happens to anyone. But I'm sure you guys will do great. I'm sure you'll be fine. And I wish you the best of luck if you're doing this to try to have babies. I hope you have lots of babies. If you're just doing it for your health, I hope you are healthy as can be. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. And for now, I guess that's it. Thanks for listening, and take care.